doing 1 day a week coming out of college, so I mean, financially, you probably had a few little challenges. How long did it take for you, and what did you have to stick to recognize that I might really have a career? Because 1 day a week doesn't sound like a career
Right,
starting
right.
out.
So we had to do some other things. You know, we
Okay.
had some little part times here and there to you had to pay to support your passion.
Uh-oh, did you hear that? Can you say that again one more
You
time?
have to pay, you know, a little sacrifice to support your passion. So I had to do some other things in the process, but I don't know, I just knew it was going to grow to something. And I never knew to this level. I just thought, well, okay, I'll be full-time radio or that kind of thing. And so I was happy with that. Never imagining that it would grow, like I said, to this level. So
So when you entered into the radio industry, did you just think that you would always like have a show and it would go syndicated and that would kind of be the pinnacle of what you would be used for in that environment? Of course, I know the community things come along with it, but I mean, you went from being a host to now, you know, director of operations with 3 stations, not one, three, and so you were prepared for it because you know you were on your journey to be an attorney, so you got that analytical mind, I can tell. But I'm telling you, that just seems like a lot to add into the basket of being in a place where you can promote music.
okay, so I'm gonna tell on myself.
Okay, go ahead.
So in the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get to enjoy music, have fun at work, meet all the gospel artists that I love, get tickets to stuff.
Okay, okay.
I had a really small list. And so I was excited with that. So then once I got in and really started learning and growing from there, then, and like I said before, the number one thing that became important to me was to inspire and encourage people. I didn't want to be just another voice on the radio. Who's next? What song is next? What commercial is happening? What is this? How can I really leave something with somebody? And not necessarily trying to be a minister, but just kind of offer inspiration or encouragement or something like that. That became a big goal of mine. And so everything else came along with it.
Okay. You know, it's interesting because I had a secular radio host who interviewed me one time.
Okay.
And said to me, he said, you know, I know you have an impact, you know, as you grace the pulpit each week or as you use your speaking engagements.
Right.
He said, but radio gives me the opportunity to reach millions. And so I have a responsibility to communicate that right message. So I think that radio often is not seen as being as of much value as it
Right,
is, you know what I'm
right, true.
saying? Because I think that there's so much opportunity there for you to be responsible to really reach out. And so from that perspective, you know, for you to inspire and encourage people, it's a great platform.
Yes.
And okay, but after that platform, you said, okay, there's more. I mean, how did you begin to think outside of the box and recognize that, okay, it's more to it? You said that, but it's more to it. Now, how do I fit into that? Because sometimes people have a hard time like fitting into something that's available to them, so they never take advantage of it. But
Right,
you
right.
made that shift, okay, very effectively. Okay.
Well, it took a little struggle because initially when people would invite me out to come and speak and stuff like that, I'm not a speaker, I'm not going to that. You know, that was my initial response, but I didn't realize that that was a part of it. And even with the music and different things like that, going to not necessarily just the musicals and things like that, but different educational stuff and things like that. Initially, I was, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm just a radio announcer. But it's the opportunity to speak into people, to encourage people, to uplift people. And especially in the time that we're in now, we need a whole bunch of that. So I had to grow to that level. I didn't have an option.
Oh, really? Okay, but let's be honest. There's some people in your market in industry that would not choose to do that and take that route.
True.
So there's still got to be a little more. Let's go a little deeper.
Okay.
What is that deeper pull again that makes Carmina say, you know what, I have to do the extra. I have to do the more.
Well, I think that's my commitment to God because I want to impact people's lives. You know, I'm not a traditional minister such as yourself that stands in the pulpit on Sunday morning, but how can I help inspire somebody with what I do? And so I have to look at it from that aspect. It makes me happy to know that I encourage somebody, or when I'm out and I'm joking and enjoying people in the community and they're responding. That means a lot to me.
You know, it's pretty amazing. Anytime that I'm going to an event and I see your name on it, I get really excited. And I'm like, okay, this is a legitimate event. Okay, so as you've grown and developed as an individual, what are some of the keys that, because you obviously are a person of integrity, because you are very, very, very well respected in the gospel industry.
I appreciate that.
But as a person, what are the values that you would share with someone that's, you know, starting out and maybe they're saying, you know, whatever industry they're in, you know, I've got to do this. There are a lot of people that are just kind of copycatting people and a lot of people that are not paying their dues. But what would you share with someone starting out to say, hey, in order for you to have the longevity that I've had, there's certain things that you have to do, and these are them. What has worked for you?
What worked for me was learning how to be my authentic self. Because initially in the beginning, I would listen to other people and try to mimic their show and try to do the things that they were doing. Just be you. People respect your true, authentic self, and be consistent. That's important.
Yeah.
Be consistent.
So did you ever have any struggles with really becoming your authentic self?
Growing up, children teased me because I have a really deep voice.
Okay, I can see that being a little bit of an issue when you're a kid, okay?